Hey, and welcome to Sisters in Lit and Life, where we discuss the lit we read and life. I'm Layla.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Whitney.
We're short this week, but we're still going to push through and carry out, discussing this book, which is a very interesting book because
It
this
is.
week we read The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix.
Yes.
This book right here. Do I have to do the okay.
Yes, it's
You
your
ready to
book.
read
So this was actually my pick. I'm very proud of myself because not that I've just had terrible book picks, but this I'll dear myself this time. Don't make that face, Shannon. I saw you. I see. So this book begins with Patricia, who is this lady who basically lives in the suburbs, who is overworked and just has so much. She's a mom. Her mother-in-law lives with her, and she has two kids, a son and a daughter, and she's just like life is life and these weird things start happening. She's part of a book club. It's a boring book club. And then she and a few of the members kind of branch off and they make kind of their own book club and they're reading more risque books. And they're kind of in a time where women still kind of do what the men are saying all the time. You know, your husband goes out and he's a breadwinner and you're supposed to have dinner ready and have the kids cleaned and, the home together. But anyway, we start this book with some strange things start happening in the town. The rat population is starting to get a little out of control and they're starting to notice rats and um just weird little things are happening. One lady, the neighbor comes and attacks Patricia and bites her ear
tries to eat her.
and she's like, what the butt is happening? It's like an older lady. They commit the older lady or they take her to the hospital and she has to go see what's wrong with this woman because she cannot believe she's been attacked and the woman bit her ear and it's this big thing. But then the lady dies. And was it her nephew that ends up coming to live in her home, who is named James Harris. And Patricia being just quite the hostess, she's inviting James Harris over, they're being real hospitable. She comes in and her mother-in-law is like, she already has an attitude. And so of course Patricia's like, oh, my mother-in-law's
She has
crazy.
dementia too, right?
She had a what?
She had dementia too, right? The
Oh
mother.
yes. So Patricia's just kind of like, but the mother-in-law is adamant. She knows this man and she remembers what he has done. But she's like 80 something years old. Like she's this old lady and he looks young. And she just won't give up on it. And so they kind of excuse the woman, dinner is over. And then all these weird things start happening. Well, the men, their businesses are booming. And we find out sometimes later that James, has invested in their businesses. But then in the midst of all this, the men are doing great. The women are noticing weird things. But Patricia is the one that's a little outspoken and she's saying something about these things. And her other friends are trying to help her. They recognize it, but they're covering it up. Um, and then there's the housekeeper, Miss Green. They end up going to see her after some of the weird things are happening. They're questioning her, especially about this woman who has just come up missing. And Miss Green's like, well, we've been reporting missing kids. Like the black kids in the black community are coming up missing. No one is listening. And while Patricia's there, she did bring a friend along and she notices James's van close by and she thinks she sees a kid in there. And this woman reports that her kid is missing. And the woman doesn't want their help because she's scared that CPS is going to be involved. And lo and behold, that does end up happening. So it's all these crazy things that don't really have an explanation, but James somehow finds this weird explanation. And when she tries to confront him in front of all of her friends and everybody, her friends try to act like they don't know what's going on. And her husband makes her apologize because she's like, James has been nothing but nice. And James is gaslighting her because he knows that she's on to him. And as we progress, she figures out he's got to be a vampire. She goes to his home after she works with Mrs. Green because she's now his housekeeper, and she realizes like, okay, things look clean on this on the surface, eye level, but let me investigate a little bit further. She goes up in his attic, and to me, like that was the part where the book really, really, really got good. Like all hell broke loose because
It really did.
it's literally she recognized, okay, he is a vampire. There's a dead body in the attic, the woman that's missing. He comes home and he realizes he knows she's in his house and he's like looking for her, but she can't say anything because she's scared of what he's gonna do to her. And there's this big distraction that gets him away from the house. Her friends come and rescue her. One of her friends comes and rescues her. Well, other stuff starts happening, and James is like threatening her. He ends up getting a hold of her daughter, and that's when she's like, hell no, I gotta kill him. I gotta find a way to kill him. She's trying to pull all the other women in, and then he physically assaults one of the other women, and they all kind of team up to just get rid of him. And they for sure realize he's a vampire. That the other piece of evidence is Mrs. Green, because the mother-in-law, I didn't even talk about that. The mother-in-law ends up getting killed. I forgot about that because she is literally eaten alive by rats.
Oof.
And no one is questioning that this rat infestation has taken over like the city. They're just, when they come back to their home, they're literally dead rats in the yard, all over the house. The house is stinky, and that's not how they left the house that morning. But Miss Mary, the mother-in-law, had a picture, and that was her evidence that she knew something's not right about this man. And he bankrupted the family, he bankrupted the community. So she saw it as history just repeating itself. And she had this picture that she was going to show. And that's when the rats came. But we don't find out till the end that she gave that picture to Miss Green. And Miss Green confirms it by sharing the picture with Patricia. And there was the grandmother as a young woman. And James, the vampire, was an adult male who basically had been investing and getting all the men folk involved and had big business. And then when they found out about him and he left, it crippled the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened again. And so I'm gonna end there so that we can discuss this, and then we can talk together about how they end up getting rid of him.
Okay.
So what did y'all think so far?
He was crazy. The only thing I thought was weird was like, in my head, he's not a vampire. Mm-hmm. Because he's more of an insect thing than a vampire. Like he drinks the blood, which is the only vampiric kind of.
But it was weird how he did it.
But he like
he didn't see it until
his throat.
He used his throat. He didn't have fangs. And he had some type of system where he cycled. He only used part of the blood, platelets or whatever, because whenever she found him with her daughter, because she was like, he's in between my daughter's legs. She thought he was having sex with her daughter, but he wasn't. He hooked to the inside of your thighs.
Yeah. Well, he probably was drinking from the artery right there.
Right.
But it was like his neck, his like face went up and his neck opened, and he had like antenna, little buggy thing. So anytime they kept saying vampire, I was like, this nigga's not a vampire. He is like, he's like a roach mosquito.
Right. I envisioned something from Men in Black. Like
muted, Jen.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Strain?
Yes.
It's like The Strain.
Yes. Because I just vampire. They kept saying it. I was like, I just could not visualize him being a vampire, because even if he was a vampire in this book, I feel like he would have been more like, I don't know, just more vampire-y, because they're like, this is like vampires don't exist, and they're
the only thing that he did that was vampire-y was when she first went to see him, she thought the man was dead, and she was like about to perform CPR on him because he was just pale and out of it, and she goes to do mouth to mouth, and he's like, hey, what are you doing, lady? But he came out in the daytime. At first it was like he was kind of acting weird about he couldn't come out.
It's like it burns,
like he adapted.
Yeah. That's why I was just like, the only thing about it was the vampire thing threw me. I wish I get why they called it that. I think more to capture an audience too, because I'm reading this book. It's a vampire. I'm reading it. but I wish he had been a little more, not even like a traditional vampire, because I'm all about creating a new kind of vampire. But he gave more bug.
But I think it was
Yeah.
a play on words with vampire. He sucked the life.
Yeah, he did.
Not the blood. He sucked the life out of communities, economies, families.
But he didn't even really do that because everyone was still alive. It was only the people that he implanted with those little things. Like everyone just kind of went crazy.
Yeah, but when I meant suck the life out of their economy, suck the like everything having to be rebuilt. Like, so I think there was a play on word as far as a vampire.
Yeah, I could see that. Because then the girl, one of the friends that he ends up sexually assaulting, and he ends up like planting his eggs in her. So he's like the whole time, like he's like, well, look what I left y'all. Like when they find out he's like doing all this crazy stuff, she's in the hospital, she's like withering away, and she has this thing growing inside her. But he doesn't do that to everybody that he, kills off. But yeah.
And then he even told her like her daughter only had a certain amount of time before.
Yeah. He she was his goal. And everyone else was kind of like a placeholder for him because he was trying to get rid of the father. He was like, your husband's been cheating on you the whole time, and he's out doing all these things when we go on these business trips. And he's like, he's not man enough for you. So like he's really trying to like have them
take his place,
his food source. Basically, like, I'm going to suck on you, I'm going to suck on your daughter, I'm probably going to suck on your son. Like, you guys are going to be my food source, and I will be your father figure, and the prosperity will continue.
Yep.
But I think my favorite part in this whole book was how they killed him. Oh, it was so gruesome.
It was.
They got that man in the bathtub and chopped him all the way up.
This entire book, the imagery, is amazing. Like, you standing right there, and that was almost what made it scary. Like, because you can really envision everything that was happening, every scene. You could really envision it from
Rayn.
his descriptions.
But yeah, it was just wild. I just was like, but even for me, like in the very beginning when you get in there, I'm thinking this is going to be a completely different kind of book because they're in a book club. They start going to get their own separate book club, and they start reading like stuff about crimes. So they're reading about all these old murder cases and all these old detective books. And so I'm thinking in my head, oh, they're going to be like this book club that goes out and starts solving these missing children murders. Not the book, not at all what I thought it was going to be.
And the poor missing children, we still don't know about.
We don't really have, we have confirmation because we know what he did but it's not like a solved crime.
Right.
There's just kids missing. But I did think that was crazy. I just was like, even when the neighbor attacks her, I was like, what is this we're reading? It was
so wild. Like, it got your attention right away. I was like, this is crazy.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah. It was crazy. But then I always thought like her friends are so worthless and so dumb. I'm like, I understand that your guys is like husbands very much control what you're allowed to think, because they were all in on it. They were like, yeah, we're gonna go, we're gonna get him, we're gonna tell our husbands. The husbands get there and they're all like looking at them like, ooh, you're in trouble because you're messing up this good thing we have going on with this James.
And then they wanted Patricia to take like medication. She's crazy.
He gave her antidepressants.
Yes, and it was like, what?
Because it was before. This was in the 90s, because this is when Prozac started. Right? Was this the 90s or late 80s or early 90s?
80s, yeah.
Because he was like, this is this experimental drug. It's Prozac. And we're like, oh, we know what Prozac is.
Right.
We didn't know, but so yeah. Because she even goes into the psych ward.
Yes.
And then it like messes up her kids and all this crazy stuff. Yeah. The book was a mess. Yes. Interesting, but a mess.
Yes. But I would say, like, even though it was interesting and a mess, like the characters being a mess, I think a lot of the reviews on the book, a lot of women were offended because it was written during a time where, even though we're saying modern times, where these women are subservient to their men, and basically the men program you have to think what they think, and we have to make sure that we don't go against that. And I could understand why they were offended. I was actually proud, not of that, but of the Black lady in the book, because she was the hero. She helped them kill the man. She was like, "Oh, come on, I got to do this now.
Yeah.
Come on, let me."
I gotta do
Like,
everything.
right?
She had every, like, at the end of the day, like, every step that they took to basically take care of their problems, she inserted it into, because even in the very beginning, she was the one who was like, hey, we got missing kids going on, you know. Then she was the one who was like, oh, come in the house and you can look around. And then she was even like they was very much the only person who had any kind of sense, because her friends
absolutely
had no sense at all, no self-preservation.
You can't say now. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm like, Rayn, if I know if I tell y'all somebody a vampire, especially after my mother-in-law's face got eaten off by rats, y'all better mount up. Like, for real. Like, why would you make that? Because the rats didn't attack anybody else. There's rats in the city, and they just came all of a sudden to my house, to my mother-in-law's room, and ate her alive.
Also, my ear is gone.
Right. And my ear, I'm still recovering from a fool who is related to him who ate part of my ear.
I have no ear. I'm believing anything at this point.
Right.
Like, this woman tried to eat me.
Why would anything about a vampire be unbelievable? Why would that be crazy? But to me, does that mean so the author is a man, which I was so proud of this, but I was like, are we saying that YT men overlook a lot of shit because of money? Like, we don't want our money to be messed up. Yeah, he might be eating on our kids over there, and he ate my mama, but you know, it's okay because we have to survive, and we've invested so much of our savings into this. Because what was it, a new subdivision or something?
Yeah, some kind of building.
Yeah,
because they all had different jobs, but they all kind of funneled through. Like, one was a realtor, one was a doctor. Like, they all kind of funneled. But I don't even think it's that. Lonnie, I think it's more of the fact that their women back then's voices were so minuscule in their opinions that even if it wasn't English, like, these women read books all day and they clean. Why would we listen to anything they have to say? And James here is a businessman. He's in with us. We go do golf. We go do tripping.
I told him, well, you know, some of this other stuff, since James is so great, you can go catch.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been sucking on the husband for all we know.
Right.
But like, all their husbands, even before he's really inserted themselves into his lives, like, he was literally brand new. Like, they believed him straight off. Yeah. So I don't even think it was like, oh, I'm, want to be, because he's a white man and giving me money. And I think they just were like, these women are dumb and they're in the book club and they're hyping themselves.
The part that bothered me was, and James wants to be a part of your book club, and you're gonna let him be a part of, like,
no.
What? Why? If you think we're done for being in the book club, James isn't, though.
Yeah.
This is not what men do, but James could be a part of it, and James is praised, and James is the best thing since sliced bread.
But then all the men start to join the book club. And then they start reading historical fiction and post-military. Oh.
First of all, the book club wasn't even supposed to be a book club in the men's eyes. It was fucking Bible study.
Exactly. That's right. That's what they thought. Because one of the women was like, if my husband thinks we're doing anything other than Bible study, I won't be able to be here. I can imagine that's how her voice was when she said it.
Yes, definitely. Well, and then even like when you get to when they originally had the first book club, and what's her name? Kitty or whatever her name was. The book club was so boring. I'm hot. You just know all my book club members and went and started a brand new cool book club, and then I'm hot.
And then isn't she the one that turned up dead? Don't she turn up dead too?
Oh, I don't. Who?
The original lady?
I thought the only person that really dies in here is the maid.
No, the maid lived.
No, the maid lived. Who sucked up dry.
Oh, the other maid, yeah.
The original maid. Because she's the first person to really go missing.
And they tried to frame him. They wanted the police to try to investigate him. So
she was so dumb.
When she was in the attic, she realizes who it is because the woman's wallet and purse is up there. So she steals her driver's license. She goes with the man because he's like, I know you're on to me. Like, he just totally gaslights her. I know you're on to me. And she's like, I'm going to go with him. She drops the woman's ID in his car. But he comes later. He's like, guess what I found? You're never going to guess what I found. I found her ID. Somehow I ended up in my car.
Can you imagine if the cops found that, how much trouble I'd be in?
He was a mess. Like, he just, every little plan that she thought she had, he would just, it was just like he would see through it, or either her friends wouldn't cooperate. And really, Miss Green saved her and helped him kill him.
Said the other lady that was the nurse for the mother-in-law died too. Then the friend snitching. Yeah, the friend that snitched, she does end up dying because she's the one who gets impregnated with the egg, and she's at the hospital.
Oh yeah,
because she snitched, and he went back and was like,
"That's Gracie. That's Gracie, I think that."
But I don't remember the mother-in-law's friend dying too.
That was Miss Green.
Mother-in-law's nurse.
That was Miss Green.
Yeah, Miss Green was the nurse.
Miss Green don't die.
No, she didn't die, but she did tell them like, it's black kids coming up missing over here in our neighborhood, and that's when they saw his van. She was in there with the rats, but she was in there with the rats. She closed the bathroom door, and so
he left the old lady out there.
Like I would have. Bye.
That bitch, they don't pay enough for this. Right. She tried to help with the damn poor dog. The poor dog.
Oh, the poor dog. I was gonna put a graphic of, but I was like, no, that's too much.
Way too much.
I just put the rats in there.
This book was definitely interesting. It held my attention.
First of all, sorry to cut you off, but if my mama get bit up by some rats, I'm gonna say it's a done deal. I'm gonna be like, well done, my good and faithful servant. You ain't gonna pull through. It's a wrap. I'm so sorry. Because what kind of quality of life are you gonna have with all your shit hangling and dangling off bones?
Yeah, that was horrible. Like, they literally ate her.
It was so graphic. I loved it. He
had it too. But baby, I'd have been like, yeah.
But that's why it didn't make sense for his wife to be telling him, hey, this man is, something's wrong. He a vampire. He is something is not right with him. And for you to just dismiss it. Who mama get ate by rats? Like, you can believe your mama just got eaten alive by rats, but not that this man is weird.
And you still don't believe him. Still don't believe her.
Still don't believe her.
Like, okay.
First of all, this man, you don't never see him in the daytime. When he come out, he in 100-degree weather with sweatshirts, ski masks,
and a hat.
Sunglasses.
But also, when we first meet this man, she what's her name? What's the girl?
Patricia.
She over here trying to help him do everything. First of all, you got a whole husband at home. You over here at this man's house. She not help this man open a fake bank account to put all this money.
She was looking for something different. Her husband ain't been home. Yeah. She was like, what can I get into?
Exactly. She was.
You want to show me some attention?
You said at this point the husbands are vampires too. No, they're insects.
They're
mosquito roaches.
Everybody, they're pariahs. Everybody.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't they make it though? She got to keep the money because it was a lot of money in the bank. And she got to keep the money because her name was on the account.
But don't she wind up helping the lady that was passing away with everything that she had going on?
Shit, I don't remember that.
What did they have going on?
Last thing I remember is them sawing shit up and then her being at the gravesite for her friend, I think, right? Her friend who passes, who gets implanted. And she says there's like, because when they kill him and they put him in a bunch of different trash bags, his ass is still moving because he's a vampire and he ain't dead.
Hold on. And then everybody at the end of the day is fucked up. Like, y'all all got a little bit of James in y'all. He just spread the love throughout the community.
So I was just about to ask that because there's some questions in the back of the books. I was going to ask that. Although there is one obvious monster at the center of the story, we learn that fear, dread, and terror come in many forms. Is there more than one kind of monster in this book? And what are the scariest elements of the story and why?
Well, yeah, you definitely have your vampire and rats. But even when you look at the way that this book was written back in the day, I feel like the overall monster of this book is overprivileged men not believing their wives and not giving them any sort of ground to stand on because they don't think.
If I tell my husband
we got to
that is a vampire, and you looking at me sideways, and you want me to invite the vampire in for dinner. Well, I didn't seen him loving up on my daughter's inner parts. I'm packing my shit, and I
And
gotta
you know
go.
what?
Yeah.
All those invitations was what made him be able to keep coming into their home, because
Yeah.
it was so drowned out
Right.
that, like,
Look,
once you
look.
invite them into
The
your home,
whole
The
time, I'm like,
betrayal.
can't you rescind an invitation?
right?
Did
The
she try
whole
it?
time,
Didn't she
I'm
She
try
like,
it?
tried. She tried, but he was like, that don't work. You
It
already
don't
invited
work.
me in.
It
yeah,
don't
that
work.
means you're not a vampire. You're
Yeah,
an insect.
she was. Everybody that she fooled with really did betray her, except for Miss Green.
Everybody.
Miss Green was the
Look,
only one, and she's the one who betrayed Miss Green.
I'd have read the books by my damn self.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because like we get here, like her friends, like legit every single, even the one that she goes with, like is supposed to go with her to search the house, snitches on her to James, not even to her husband, to James. You don't call this man that I'm going to be at his house.
Mm-hmm.
No, you remember when they went to Mrs. Green's neighborhood, and she was just like, "No, I'm just gonna stay in the car." Right? She was like, "I don't even want to go."
Right,
And then
right.
when we got there, they were like, "Who the f- is you?"
Yep.
Those kids,
Yeah, I'm
was
gonna go
funny.
ahead and go in the house. Are we safe in this?
right.
No. I was
Miss
dead.
Green came out like looking at them like, what y'all doing over
Yeah,
here?
but Patricia was the only one who was like really not.
I don't think she was. Now her friends was, they had
Her
some
friends
issues.
was, yeah.
Her friend, yeah. The husband betrayed her when he told James that she was one. Oh, that was so messed up. He did.
Yes.
Because wait a minute, when she looked at him, it was like she said, I knew. When I looked at my husband, he knew not to say that. You think you got that? That's one of them. Let me kick this sapsucker in his shin.
Under the table.
And then he looked
You
at
know,
her. So Patricia called the police on
Patricia
you.
feels real bad about getting you jammed up like that with the police, because she had just told him that she had she said, I got an Academy Award at the door because I convinced him it wasn't me. And her husband tells him 5 seconds later.
And I was like, now ain't he nothing? Ain't you like he
That
would
was
have been sleeping by himself? Like,
No, I'm leaving. I'm taking the kids and I'm gone.
yes,
I'm gone.
Forget y'all.
This book would have been gone, been done.
Yeah, look, slaying a vampire would be like disappearing from the vampire because I'd have been.
But he made her friends, especially the one that he impregnated with the egg. He made them regret not being vocal, not making yourself being heard, and really downplaying your value as a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because really their voices were below the children.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I feel like him writing this book, he had to write it in this time. Because
absolutely.
If he had wrote it now, this wouldn't, we'd have been like, oh, okay. Like you said, Shannon, okay, bye. I don't need you. But the women in this book, they can't even leave their husbands at this point because they barely have bank accounts. Mm-hmm. Like they barely have stuff. Like they're working and giving like all the money they have or staying home with the kids. So yeah, it was a mess. But I liked it. It was a good book. Definitely interesting. Definitely something that I wasn't expecting, like to like. When I first started, I'm like, I'm not reading this book. And then someone was like,
you know, this has been on my TBR for a long time, and I was just like, I don't want to spend the money on it if I don't know it's good, because the Kindle is not free. You have to pay for the Kindle, and I was just like,
on Libby,
and the Kindle, and I don't have that. The Kindle ain't cheap either. The Kindle, I think the Kindle is like $10, $14 or something like that, $12. And I was like,
buy a book at that point.
Yep.
Right.
It was on sale, and I bought the book, and I bought it on Audible, listening to it.
But you know, I can't sit down and read no book nowadays because the work be over there taking my time. So
yeah, how you not have Libby, Shannon?
Because I don't want to wait like y'all. I'm impatient.
I didn't have to wait for this. Most of the stuff, like probably stuff we read, we don't have to wait. But like if it's brand new, you don't have to wait.
No,
yeah, that book was ready to go immediately, and that's free.
And you know, I don't have a library card because I got a problem with people and their germs. I don't buy used books because all I'm thinking is people licking their fingers and turning pages.
You can get a digital library card and just do it online.
Yeah,
that's what I have.
And go online.
because I can't do libraries. After I was already like that before COVID, and then COVID just made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Rayn came in clutch last week with the library card. He was like, yeah.
Oh, for pretty girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one you got.
Oh, I have a library card, so I need to get it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They probably aren't reading it now. I know that book is kind of old.
Yeah, I think I was able to borrow it pretty easily. It was so good.
I'll go get me a library card on
You
Friday.
just gotta go online.
Yeah, I would say you can sign your kids up too. Use their accounts.
Yeah, you can go right online right now. I got mine the same day.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I gave this book a 5.
So did I.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rayn gave it a 5 too.
Because the book was good. It was good from start to finish.
Yeah,
it kept you intrigued.
Yeah,
it was something always going on. I'm like, what's happening now? Like
it was it was like action, but it wasn't like it was like them doing stuff action, not like pew pew pew.
Now, does that incline you to read another book by this author? Because I know he has one about the haunted house, and I think I want to read it.
Is it a horror book?
They're all horror.
Everything you're right.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it's genre.
Yeah, I have to look at it and see. Because if honestly, Ani hadn't read this and said it was good, I wouldn't have read this book. But I'm glad I did.
But due to the fact that he is so descriptive in his writing,
yeah, I feel like anything he writes should be decent. Like it would be a good like topics vary, but at least he can write.
Oh yeah,
you're already at a 3. You can write a book. Yeah,
right.
You
can write a book and follow the plot. We understand your characters. That's at least a 3.
I'd hope that it would be completely different though. Like hopefully he doesn't always write books where it's women are dumb and men are
I don't think so.
I have to look up some of his other. Let me go look at some of his.
So I think
it's called. Go ahead.
At the beginning of the Audible, he kind of told how this book was born, where he was writing something else and then wrote a sequel to that, and then it just kind of he had the idea for this one.
Yeah, because I wanted to read the Final Girl Support Group before. Like these have been on my TBR, but I was like, let me wait until somebody says something about it. Yeah, that's the one I wanted to read too.
Paperbacks from Hell and We Sold Our Souls. My Best Friend's Exorcism. Horror Store.
This book is crazy. This book only got like 3.5 stars
on Goodreads.
On Goodreads, yeah. It got a 3.8.
So funny because some things that should get a 2 get 5s, and
which is crazy. Okay, so like you said, Lonnie, a lot of people were mad because of the sexism. That was the point of the book, though.
Absolutely, you couldn't have had this book. Wouldn't have been
good. Housewives. It's supposed to be like that.
It's obvious that it's sexism. You know what I mean? Like it's very obvious. That's very patriarchal, and it's very.
The book wouldn't have been the book if it wasn't in there.
Like now, you wrote this book in 2022, and the date was 2022 when this shit was happening. No. That's dumb. Because but this makes sense for the era.
And she wouldn't have been portrayed. I mean, betrayed the way that she did if
by her husband or her friends
if it wasn't written the way that it was.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
like I said, they're housewives.
Just got even worse. I think people just don't like him because his other book, the Final Girl Support Group, got awful reviews.
I wonder, is there a backstory?
Yeah, like I don't even want to. I'm gonna go in blind.
You TikTokers, give us some info and let us know what's going on.
I don't know if I've ever seen.
But to me, he writes very well.
Okay, well, she also said that it might have just been a bad case of Audible because it was such a bad audio.
Oh, now if the narrator's voice isn't relatable.
I like.
This one was good though.
I like the audio.
Yep, I like this.
I read the audio. I listened to it.
I was about to say, I usually listen to that narrator, so I don't know.
No, that's for the next one, the Final Girl Support Group.
Oh,
yeah, that one got a 3.5, which still isn't terrible, but I feel like the average is kind of
So
this is his highest rated book though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's number 1 on his list.
Oh yeah. I want to also say I feel I feel like I have finally made made it because this book had a map.
There's a fucking map in the book.
I don't have a book, so I
I don't
don't
have a
know.
book, and I definitely didn't get it on Kindle, so I don't
He
know.
had a map as to where
You could have sent
everybody.
us a picture of the map.
I like that, Rayn.
Oh, thank
Oh
you,
yeah, the narrator wasn't Lonnie, but they were all right.
thank you.
I like that.
Oh man, yeah.
What
So
else have y'all been reading?
I
I started. Oh, go ahead, Lonnie.
listening, reading. Um, I think I don't know if I told y'all this. It's a book about Did I Kill You? It's a horror
Mm. We in our horror
uh,
genre phase right now.
by
Okay.
well, thriller by
Harper
Harper
Shaw.
Shaw. Hmm.
Was it good?
Mm,
Uh-oh,
You didn't like
Shannon.
it? Oh wait, you didn't like it?
mm.
Oh no, don't tell me that. I still have 3 hours in.
How
I
you
still have
liking
three
it
hours
so
left.
far?
So far it's good, but I think what's gonna piss me off is if the killer ends up being somebody. So what happens is this woman goes back to this town because her parents have died, and she was a twin, and so nobody in the town likes her because her twin, when they were minors, ended up she was killed,
Mm,
and she may have been a suspect, and so she's
okay.
trying to solve her sister's murder. But while she's there, she's only been there a couple days. Someone is murdered the exact same way in a
Mm,
pumpkin patch with a pumpkin smashed over her head and I guess a pumpkin carved on her arm or something like that. And nobody likes her. Like even and she's a NYPD detective now. And she comes back and like even the police chief's like, they have breakfast with me and you need to get out of town. As soon as you bury your parents, you get out of here. She's like, I don't have
But
to do
she
it.
didn't come back for the murder. She came
She
back
did.
to
Just to sell her
saw. I
parents.
mean, to
She wanted to
yeah.
leave. Like she didn't want.
mm.
What you
She
call
left
it?
all
Her
those years
parents has died, and she's trying to just,
Oh,
take
tighten
care of
so
some
their
get
things.
out
affairs.
and get
Take care
out.
of their affairs and get out of town. But them saying this and people being ugly, she comes back to the house and they don't have just a house; they have an estate. Like
Mm,
it's
wealthy.
grand. There's a jack o' lantern there, so that's not scaring her. It's intriguing her and it's
Yeah,
making her be like, "What's going on? What's up?" So
the
she's
detective.
now on the hunt to solve that murder. So I'm gonna be
It's missing
mad if it's
pieces.
something
She doesn't
dumb
know what's going on.
because she doesn't remember that night. And I made it to the
Mm.
part where she figures out why she didn't remember because one of the
Shannon was
guys she
loopy.
was with, she didn't remember they were smoking weed, but somebody laced the weed. That's why
Mm.
she didn't remember. So she's just found that out, and that guy's an attorney now. And he's like, I would appreciate you keeping this between us.
Isn't
So
that
I'm
funny how people used to go to high school with and did crazy shit with they like in big like because one
Hold
of the
on,
person I
and
know
that's
was
just like
FBI and
I
I'd be like,
finished.
what?
I finished The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I
Okay.
was just like,
You didn't like it?
You didn't like it? Oh, I got
I
all
liked
three
it.
books up here.
it's not. It's not that I didn't like it. I was just like,
Yeah.
for real.
I liked that one.
I'm gonna read that next.
Yeah, I liked that one. I didn't read all of them, but I liked the first one for sure.
I was done. I was done.
But you
I
know
don't
what?
even know how to rate it.
At the beginning of my start of reading, so I may read it again and be like,
Yeah, I was done. I don't even know how to rate it. I think I'd probably give it like a 3, just because at the end, for real.
yeah, I
Oh,
can't
it's the
remember
ending?
even. I can't remember. I read it like 2 years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't
I'm
even
worried
tell
the
you.
ending
You
of this
you
one
can
is
read
gonna
it
make
and
me
come
mad.
back to it. But
Yeah,
see, like
I'm telling you,
I don't,
we really need to read the Mindfuck series because I finished the first
I
book. And I'm like,
can't I can't say that it was predictable, but I was like it was real far fetched. I guess I don't even
you'll have to
know
message
like
me and remind. Let me go look real quick because I bet I can remember it real quick.
Who wrote the Mindfuck series?
Who wrote the what?
The Mindfuck series?
Gosh,
I know, right?
Stacy.
I was like Stephanie.
I think it's Stacy because I like that one.
ST Abby.
So I got Stacy from that.
Yeah, I was like
Close.
Stephanie.
That makes sense.
All right. Close.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Don't I have it?
What's it called? I started Obsidian Feathers. Realized I'm gonna really like. I didn't even get that far. I got to like chapter 3. I was like, let me stop because I'm reading like 4 other books at the same because I had like 2 arcs coming. Let me pause on that for a second. We get through these other ones because after the first chapter, I'm like, I'm intrigued.
Man,
I was like, what's about to happen?
It just gets dark.
The very front cover of the book, you can tell stuff is not like, it's not. Is it paranormal? Like, I know there's like, but in the beginning, it doesn't give that vibe off at all because it's just like a regular person living a regular life in a regular marriage that's not great. So I'm literally, I think I'm at chapter like 3, and I was like, pause. Because I got some arcs that came through and I need to finish.
Oh, those. You ain't even get into the good part of it.
I know I haven't, but I already like it. I'm like, oh, this is about to be a hot ass mess. Because she said, I'm going on a trip and I'm not gonna have cell service and I'm not gonna. Her fiance or whatever was like, okay. And I was like, oh, he's an asshole. But yeah, so I started that. I finished. I've been reading a couple novellas and stuff like that, but I read this other book. What was it? Oh, it was a Lillian Lark book, and it was like something about dragons, but it was good. But I haven't really read anything like super amazing other than Pretty Girls, which we get to talk about next week. I'm so excited to talk about. Have you read that one, Lolly?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I can't wait for you to read that one.
Did you tell me to read Touched by Sand?
If I did, I may tell you not to. I don't think I like that one book all that much. I got the arc for that, I think. Let me see what that is.
Did you say it's called Pretty Girls? That's what we're reading next week.
Oh, Touched by Sin. Yeah.
You liked Touched by
3. I gave it a 3. It was
a 3.
Yeah, it was a 3.
They was just womping.
Yeah. It was the beginning of it was interesting because it was like literal heaven and hell. And you have angels and you have fallen angels. And
then you have demons.
It was an interesting concept because usually you don't hear it so like.
Yeah, and then after that, they was just playing tug of war with the angel bitch. Like,
and then she like wants to be not good anymore. And she's
confused.
She started looking at
first she wants to go back because everybody doesn't like her, and then she wants to be bad, and then she wants to never exist. And
see, I think too in the beginning, I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna explore her power. Like I like all these kind of books where mythological things, they have powers and they break through and find their, and she's an angel in hell and everyone has hellfire. They have all these powers and she doesn't have any of those because in heaven they don't teach them anything.
And
they want her to be like
stripped of everything.
Heaven, you're wonderful.
Don't work.
Like she doesn't even know how to fly because in heaven they don't want her to do anything. They just want her to live a happy, blissful, peaceful, nothing. They don't need. You don't need to fly in heaven. Why would you?
Right.
But so she's like, I thought it would. Like, I feel like a good direction would have been more of her because she starts to learn about it at the end. But at the end, it's even stupid because then it's like Lucifer, and you're just like, what? So they lost me about 30-40% in. I was like, oh, but I had to finish it. It wasn't that long of a book. Like it wasn't a long book.
It wasn't.
But
I can tell you what I did read, and I know it's hood as fuck, but I don't even care because it had me intrigued. I read both of them. I Left a Lame Ninja for a Millionaire Boss by Lakeisha. Rayn, that book is for you. If you're still in the chat.
Okay.
Because baby, there was so much going on in that damn book.
Okay. So maybe we read that after Pretty Girls.
That's fine by me. Because we'll have so much
picking books at this point.
Right.
We haven't read a good hood book in a minute. It's been a minute.
That one is it.
All right, let's do that.
Yes,
Let's do that.
that book was good. Both of them. We should read both of them because they're quick reads.
Yeah.
I finished those.
One's 176 pages, and the
Over
other
the weekend.
one,
The other one is like 200 and something.
we could do that.
Basically, hell, it's like reading a 300-page book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Right.
left a hood.
I added it to my
Ninja
Goodreads, so you can just grab it off
for
there.
a millionaire boss.
Oh, I like that. I like
Oh my God.
I love a
From your lips to God's ears.
I don't know if you want that life, honey.
Oops.
I don't know if you want that.
Oh.
Not the way that they was living it. I don't think you want no part of
I
that.
need mine to
something
be
up your ass in this book. I don't know.
Wait a minute, what? Wait,
You
what?
talking about some toxicity,
Whoa.
some mess, some drama.
Oh no. I'm too old for that. I'm too old for all of that.
Yeah,
that
see,
was in that book right there.
the 20s is when this would have been good.
Oh.
Not even then.
Always at that bad.
Not even then.
I'm so excited.
They could have kept this whole situation.
Oh wow.
Because baby, ain't no way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Who's
even
the
want
author of that?
Lakeisha.
Keisha.
Okay, Lakeisha.
It's where'd it go?
Okay.
Lakeisha. Like spell it.
Regular Lakeisha.
Yeah. I didn't read anything else that was really great. Just reading to read at this point. Nothing else to do.
Yeah, I read Come See Me by Cartier, Wicked Masquerade.
How was Wicked Masquerade?
It was all right.
Okay, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
Is that an indie writer? Lakeisha? She sounds like she would be an indie writer, right?
Yeah, she is an indie writer. You shoulda. What's that one book? Geneva Rose. You shouldn't have come here. Nope. Cindy Ella. Cindy Ella by Denise Estes. That book was good.
How was it? It was good. Oh, I saw her post that, and I was like, I love a Cinderella retelling now. You can't really mess it up too much.
Right?
Okay, let me add that. I was a little apprehensive.
She did a little her own take on it. You got the key elements, but the way that she wrote it, that book was good.
Okay, I'm gonna add that one.
Nah, you on your own, Rayn. Ain't nobody starting that crying book. Oh yeah, Whitney's supposed to life.
I started it. It's just I keep starting it.
The book that made everybody cry on TikTok.
A Secret Life or something like that. But I can't remember what it's called.
No.
But that's just so long. I feel like it's so long, and I know it's so long going into it that in my head it's the boringest, driest book, and I've only gotten to 2% into it.
Y'all should have known that was gonna be the case.
But I haven't started it yet. Like it's starting to get good. Like it's like stuff is starting to happen.
So it's not the most boring drying book.
I don't know because I'm only 2% into it. But
you said it's called A Secret Life.
I haven't read or listened to a book narrated by a full man. Like it's usually odd. Like
I have, but I've done
this will be interesting for me.
I've done British. What was it? The girl who with the dragon tattoo. That series.
Oh, good.
Those are good.
Good because it wouldn't have been
Those
me.
Are good.
I tried to start You, and I was like, that book is trash. I don't know how y'all get the Joe that we know
from this.
From the Joe, man, because I was like. DNF, and I ain't DNF.
You never DNF'd.
That's a DNF. Because they was over here talking about, oh my gosh, the book Joe is completely different. Yeah, they was like the way that it's starting off. I'm like immediate no. You talking about dry and ashy? That's it right there. And I'm only 22% in, and I'm like,
yeah. See, I can't say nothing about my book yet. I'm literally 2%. I think I've read listened to 32 minutes.
That's The Secret Life, the crying book.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't stand that. I can't even look at that cover. It's so ugly.
Oh, have I looked at it?
It's just the main.
Yeah, it's
so ugly.
Not that I did look at that.
Yeah,
it's so ugly. It almost deterred me from even starting to read it because it was on my phone. I said, "This is so ugly."
Just swipe real quick.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do it, but I need to I feel like I just need to get through these 2 arcs.
Oh, I'm going to read it. Their Vicious Games. It's on Everin.
Their
Oh, and
Vicious
Don't Look
Games.
Back. I heard it was good.
Who is that by?
What is that? Joelle Wellington.
Let's see if I already downloaded that.
Oh, I see it.
Salt Kiss. Have you read it, Whitney?
It's on my TBR. That's the one by what's her name?
Sarah Simone.
Yeah. It's on my. Did you read that one?
Hell yeah, I read it.
Oh, it was good, huh? I literally just looked at it on my while I was scrolling. It was right there. It's like one of the like top 3.
I was just
I wish I could rank my TBR list. You know, like Netflix back in the day when you have to used to order it and it was like ranked, like you had 1 through 100 and you could make one like 7. And so it was, I need to do that. That's
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I need to start doing it. Okay, so I need to read. Oh, there's too many. Stop talking about books.
I'm sorry. I was just telling y'all what I read.
I know. That's okay.
Oh, they just released a whole lot of Jay West books.
Don't tell me on Everin. Whatever that shit is called now. Why everything gotta change the name? I already got used to calling it
Script, right?
For so long. And I don't even know how to say Everend. Everland is Everend.
Everend.
Why? What does that mean?
I don't know. Just like an ever end of book, like it never ends.
Okay, so you said Jade West. Oh, I know. I just finished the Katie Robert the Olympus series. I just read the Wicked Beauty and Radiant Sin and stuff. Those were pretty good. Because I didn't like Neon God so much because I was over the whole Persephone Hades trope. Yeah. But the ones that follow it are all different Greek gods and stuff like that, and so they're better. And then
Rayn, what was you reading? You still in here? She talking about she gonna read the crying book. What else?
I think I read most of these books.
Oh yeah, Reckless Desire by Mo Flames. I think those are my TBRs. Aaron just finished the Will
Smith's autobiography. How was that one?
Oh, you going into nonfiction? Ain't that crying book a nonfiction?
I don't think so.
Or is it fiction?
I think it's fiction. I'm pretty sure it's fiction. Yeah, it's fiction. I need to read Brittany's book still. I bought that one.
Oh, no, I'm good.
And she has the audio on script or on Everend. Oh, she said she gave the Will Smith thing 4.
Oh, yes. I loved the Will Smith
autobiography. I'm not a big autobiography fan.
His was good, especially I listened to it and he's actually narrating it.
Yeah.
And it was really, 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 really
good. Which one did we read? Was it Wanda Sykes? We read the second one. Right?
No,
we read it for book club. Not for podcast. We did for book club a long time ago.
I've never done Wanda Sykes.
Maybe it's not Wanda Sykes.
You're on timeout. You're on timeout.
I read
You're on timeout.
Not for
You're on timeout.
Okay, which one did we read?
Because we were at Jennifer Lewis.
Jennifer Lewis.
You're on timeout.
I read Wanda Sykes different. Okay. It was something. I knew it was somebody.
No, ma'am. No comparison.
That book was
no comparison. Just because they got loud natural hair and a loud mouth, they are not the same. They are not the same. Okay.
They're not. That book was good though. I like that. I think that's the first, but even then it got a little annoying. But I like that book a lot.
I love her being so.
Yeah. Have y'all checked out Jada's?
No, I don't want to read that.
You know, I've been. I'm gonna read. What's the guy from Friends? I don't know why I had a brain fart. Matthew Perry. I downloaded it.
Yeah.
So did he Whitney Houston himself?
No. He had a cardiac arrest. He had a heart attack in the hot tub. There were no drugs in his system.
Yeah, he's been.
But he probably did a lot.
No. They said that there was stuff on the premises.
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. As far as his autopsy, he didn't have anything in his system. They didn't release that.
So it's just years and
I
years
think your
of
heart just, when you don't treat your body right, unfortunately, over the years, because he did a lot of cocaine and a lot of pills.
And you could tell because I watched Friends, you could tell when he like had a normal weight and then he shriveled up.
Oh, yep.
I was like, whoo.
Yep, season 7 and 8.
And then at the end of his career, he blew up all over again, just like, oh.
Yeah. I want to lose weight, but not like that.
But that was just like Whitney
You might
Houston.
do that for a year.
She was skinny for a long time, and then when Sparkle came out, she was all big. Like, hold on, who Whitney is this?
You know what? I just chalked it up to she's getting a little older. I just. So I'm gonna read Jada. I want to read Will's first. I'm debating on whether I'm gonna read Jada's or not, but I enjoyed his. I read his when it first came out. Like,
it would be a nice comparison. Like, I would want, if I read one, I'd want to read the other so I could see.
Listen,
I think they're gonna be talking about completely different things because in his, he does talk about her a little bit, but he talks about how they met and how they ended up getting together. Yes. But his is really about what?
If I read Jada and she be like, Tupac, I'm throwing the fucking book.
I think she's gonna bring. I think Tupac
is definitely gonna bring it up.
She definitely. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I think Jada, a lot of stuff is for publicity. She knew her book was coming out. She knew she had been writing this. She goes on all these interviews. Even if it gets people in uproar, they're gonna buy the book just to see if she mentioned it. Anything about him in there or anything like that's for sales. I mean, I'm not gonna say whether I think she did or didn't. I wasn't there.
That's like most things. Like even the whole when celebrities date each other, usually it's because someone's about to drop. Like, and then they're back together.
Use each other because it's like, okay, let's make myself real relevant right now. I got this about to come out, so I need to be in the spotlight. And sometimes some of them think. And it works.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, this was for publicity, but we fell in love. That's cool. Because usually when you force some people together, they gonna find something to like about each other. But it's like even the whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing. Like that movie, she got a whole bunch of shit going on. Great time to have good publicity. Yeah. Just saying. It's a great time. Even if you do fall in love with this man, it may not have started out like that.
Right.
What is it Shannon about to say?
Nothing.
You can't give us all of it.
We'll talk off the
okay. Well, we're definitely reading Pretty Girls.
I don't know how you spend your life with ass, lips, and tits, and then go. Never mind. You already know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't be me.
So next week is. Who wrote Pretty Girls?
Who's the author of that?
Karen Slaughter.
Yeah.
Corinne.
Yeah. Yeah. That was. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you guys talked about it so much and made me read it because it was very good. But yeah, Pretty Girls next week by Corinne Slaughter. I'm excited for that one.
All right, guys. So if you don't have the book, go ahead and download it or purchase it.
And this one was on KU.
Oh, this was on KU. So hey, you guys, go ahead. If you're a member, if you subscribe to KU, go ahead and get it downloaded. So next week, again, that's Pretty Girls by Corinne Slaughter. Same time, same place. We'll see you then.